Hey guys, it's Amy at Zoe Beck, and I thought I would do kind of a little June wrap up, not like going through everything, but just kind of giving a little stats for the Amazing Readathon. So I did participate all month. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it, but I am so done right now with reading to what somebody else says I have to read. I'm definitely going to be doing a lot of mood reading from here on out. I really enjoyed the time. It's just, I don't normally read to people's prompts and other, like I do readathons, but I don't do it quite that strictly. So it was really a fun time. We of course came in last, which doesn't surprise me. I'm pretty sure fantasy was probably one of the biggest groups of people, and our books are just not short. And so I think that kind of, hurts us in the long run when there's a lot of us and we're trying to read, books we want to read that are fantasy books, but they're just not conducive to reading them really quickly. And again, I read a lot of things this month. So I read 48 things total, which comes out to 23 novels. One of them was a reread, 6 novellas, 3 graphic novels, 2 of those were rereads, and then 16 manga, which was 10 of those are rereads. So I had a total of 13 of the 48 were rereads, but I really wanted to get back into the Fables series, so I did want to start that graphic novel series over. So, because it's been probably about 6 years since I read those. And then I reread Holic just because I've been thinking about it and wanting to do that. And I listened to Alpha Night, which again is a Nilling You Sing side changeling. And can I go a month without really listening to one of her books? Not really. Not very often. Anyway, but I think I did fairly well. I actually read or listened to, whichever way. I had 12,310 pages that corresponded to books. Overall, it was 12,518, but 318 pages were from books that I DNF'd, either soft or completely, during the month, because there was about 4 books that I put down after I tried them, and I'm like, no, not right now. I can't do this right now. So I think it was 4. So 318 pages that I read, but didn't get to count to anything. But the 12,310, that equals of all the 48 things that I did read, that comes out to an average of 256 pages per book, which is really small because, again, during Face-Off weekend, I read a ton of manga and short novellas in series that I was trying to get through. Again, on the last day, I did the same thing. So most of the novels I read were 300 pages, 300 to 400 pages. So there's only a few that went over that. But mostly that's where I stayed. I tried to keep the books not too big due to the fact we were trying to read so quickly. So anyway, still, I think I read quite a bit. So that comes out, as I said, it was 256 pages per book on average. And but my average per day was 410 pages a day, which is insane. I once in a while I'll get a big 400 page day, but to say that was my average for every day. Again, they fluctuated, but still. And again, the Face-Off weekend and the last day was really where I did the most pages in a day, because I was reading a lot of manga. Agreed. But still, that's still a lot. I still think that's pretty good. So I did want to just, so as I said, I really did well. I think, again, it was a lot of fun. I've never been on Discord so much because I haven't used Discord in years. So that was kind of fun too. Although I was kind of just there to find out what was going on. I do want to just kind of catch up you on my series, because I think I need to, I didn't do it this year. I didn't really make a video on it. Maybe I didn't. I just don't remember. I'll have to go back and look. But again, series are a huge deal with my reading. I'm a big series reader. I'm always reading a series, it seems like, starting them and trying to finish them, which doesn't happen as often, but mostly continuing a lot of long series. So I did want to say that I continued in 16 series during the month. I started 7, so not my best at that, but a lot of them are the first book. A couple of them were the first book in the series that was out, so I'm technically caught up, because I did say that then, so I'm not counting those as caught up on the ones that were A lot of them were just start, and they're more books, but a few of those they're the only book out, but not too many of them. I don't remember what it was, but for the books that were ones that were, I was deeper into the series, I caught up on. So not as much caught up, or I continued a lot, but I mean, I caught up to all the books that are out, that have been published, I've read. It's only 4 that I caught up on, not counting any of the first books in series. I didn't count that. And then I did finish one series, which I will talk about in a minute because it was my favorite book of the month. But I did read 6 standalone novels. So this doesn't count. So I did most of my books. If you look at that, 6 standalones compared to 48. So 42 of the books or things that I read were part of a series. That shows you how much of a series reader I am. So I just wanted to, and then really quick, talking about all that stuff, I just wanted to say that I did read a lot of the sightseeing prompts, not as many as some of the other teams that were, people who were doubling the 50 prompts that were available for sightseeing. I only was able to do, let's see, what did I come up to? I had 20. I did 20 of the 50. And I just ran out of, there was just not enough time. I mean, considering I read all that, I'm still kind of surprised. Anyway, so I had one 200-point prompt that I did. I did 7 300-point prompts. I did 7 400-point prompts. And I did 5 of the 500-point prompts. So if I ever did this again, I would definitely next year, I would try to do more of the 500. I just kind of ran out of time on certain ones that I planned to do for some of those, and but the books that were calling to me were more 300 and 400 prompts that I wanted to read. But anyway, so I mean, again, I did 20 of the 50. Not great, but not bad. I don't know. And then again, there's Face Off weekend. I think I read like 19 things that weekend. So and so those don't count towards this. That was its own thing, which we did really good on. I'm glad we were able to at least come in second, or come in tied for first, which was fun. So then just really quick, I'm going to show my top 4 books of the month. I could have brought more because a lot of my books some of them were a lot of good solid 4s. But these ones, the 2 that were 4 stars are my highest 4 stars. They're like ones that were crusting into the 4.25 to 4.5. I don't mostly don't go look that closely at it. But the first one was A Letter to the Luminous Deep by Sylvie Cattrall. I don't know. I really enjoyed this first book in the Sunken Archive series. I'm really looking forward to the next book. This one was a surprise to me on it because it is a epistolary novel, and how we're finding out what happened to some people who disappeared, and their family members are trying to recreate their meeting and correspondence, and how what actually happened, which was it was an awesome ending. I really enjoyed this. I can't wait for the next book because I'm not sure how that's going to play out after what happened in here. So really, really enjoyed that book. Yeah. The other one was A Flame in the North by Lila St. Croix. I really like Lila St. Croix, and this is her first book in the Blacklands Bane. I was trying to read this before the second book came out. So the second book came out just after I finished this. So I did get it done before, but now I got to read the second book. This is a trilogy. We're following Solveig, who is, I can't remember she's a kind of a wizard thing, her witch kind of thing, but not, I don't know. I don't remember the terminology, but she has some powers that she has worked on, and something happens in her village during this winter solstice, and she is then forced to go north with this group as a kind of compensation for something bad that had happened in town on that night. And she and her shield maiden are, on this adventure. So this is like a road trip. And then we're also discovering that things that she knew in her town, the North is much different. And there's so many more things. This is a Norse-inspired fantasy. So the mythology is kind of based off of Norse mythology, but it's not Norse. The names are slightly changed. The stories are slightly changed. So it's kind of interesting. It has a kind of cool twist to it. I really enjoyed, you have to like travel books to like this one, because I really like their traveling and the things that happen and the character and the people that they meet. And it keeps getting worse and worse. These poor people. I'm afraid for book 2 because I just don't know where it's going to go. Because again, this ended and I was like, whoa, what? Anyway, I'm looking excited to get to the second book of that one. So those were like really high 4 stars, probably 4.5, probably really close to that. And then my 5-star reads that I want to point out is The Burning Witch by Delham Hawk. This is book 2 in this series. I just adore the House Witch world. So this is the second trilogy, and so I wanted to get to the second book because the third book had come out and I want to get to it. So this is following Katarina, and she is a witch. She is the next generation, and she is there in this country that is kind of hostile towards her, and all these things that's going on. There's political stuff going on. She is spending a lot of time with the prince of the other country that they're from, and things are not going right. There's something in the background. There looks like there's at least 2 baddies, and I'm not sure how this is going to go, but it is such a fun, it is not like a cozy fantasy. It is a fantasy that has cozy feels to it, but it also is there's a lot of emotional stuff going on. This was such a good book. I just love the way this went. It never went away I thought it was going to, and I'm really excited to pick up the next one. I knew it would end with the last chapter. I knew what would happen in the last chapter, but that didn't mean I'm not looking for the next book. It's so awesome. And my favorite book of the month, as well as finishing a series that I took way too long to read, is Reticence by Gail Carriger. This is book 4 in the Custard Protocol series. So this is a series that I read the first book many years ago when it first came out, and I bought all the hardbacks as they came out, and I just never continued until this year. I made myself this. I want to finish this series, and I am so glad. This was a perfect ending to the Parasol Protectorate series as a whole. There is one novella left that I need to read. That kind of is the very last book, but this is the last one I think that has all a lot of the characters that I really enjoy that showed up in this one. But it was so good. I liked the romance in here because it was unexpected, because I didn't know who Percy's who his significant other was going to be, and I liked the way it kind of connects to some of the other books. It was very well done. And then again, they had their adventure, and they're in their little dirigible going around the world and doing stuff. It was just, I went to Japan in this one, and there was something bad going on at the location that they showed up on. It was really good. As I said, I love the whole series. Again, I would definitely, if you want to start this series, start with Soulless, which is the first book in the Parasol Protectorate, which is the generation before this. If you are, more into young adult, the Finishing School series, which is before that, you came out after the Parasol Protectorate, but timeline, it's before that. I would read everything in publication order. That's pretty much what I did on my reading. And as I said, I have one more novella that comes after this that deals with some of the characters, and I'm hoping to get to that fairly soon. But these are my favorite books of this month, and it was such a great month reading. Overall, I got to a lot of fantasy books that I've been putting off, because I do tend to have a tendency to read more urban fantasy, paranormal romance quicker, and I have all this fantasy that I want to get to, but I got to a lot of series that I meant to start over the last few years that are popular. I got to a few of the books that came out this year. I mean, both all these came out. Burning Witch came out earlier in January. I think Flame in the North came out in February. And I think A Letter to the Luminous Deep came out in April. So all those were new releases this year. So I need to be better about reading stuff that I buy, as I said. So that is my kind of wrap up for Amazing Readathon. I hope that kind of, I guess again, those vlogs are all very long. I really appreciate anybody who watched them. I had a lot of fun vlogging over May and June, but as I said, it's kind of nice not to get on the camera every day, but you know, maybe August something might happen. Do I want to do Veda? I don't know. Anyway, you'll have to let me know. Anyway, the point is that if you guys did Amazing Readathon, how did you do? What team were you on? Obviously, if you were on any team other than fantasy, you did better. Your team was better than ours, or got better score than ours, but I really had a fun time and I really enjoyed the experience. I would do this again, but you know, once a year for a competitive readathon is probably all I'm up for. I know people do them all year round. There's like so many of them, and a lot of them look really good, but I really enjoyed the Amazing Readathon for what it was. It was really a different experience. And again, I read most of the stuff I did read off my shelf except for a few things. So really, I think I did still pretty well. Anyway, so that's it. I will talk to you guys later. Bye. Okay, hopefully this will work. I can't seem to make this thing work today. So here are a good portion of the books that I read in June. Most of these are it. There are 6 things missing, 2 from the library and 4 novellas that I had on my Kindle. But, and then these also show, these are put for some of the library books, manga. I just thought I could show that. Cooper is here helping out. So again, all the novels, some manga, some more novels, more. I reread these 2. I reread Alpha Knight, all the XX-holic that I had to read. But everything else was new to me. And I did, I think, a fairly good job of reading this month, or in June. Amazing. Now, Kitty, must you be in the way? Look, he just wants me, he wants his attention because I was gone. And now I'm back. Anyway, torque.